Welcome. It's August 10th, the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, virtual. We have three members in attendance tonight, and I'm going to do a quick voice check to make sure that everybody is recorded. Mr. Faia.
I'm here.
Mr. Swain.
Here.
And Chair Kindermans is here as well. So first case tonight is Joe Mauer for a special permit to convert second story of an existing detached garage into a home office and recreation space, and construct dormers which increases the gross floor area by 525 square foot, causing the maximum floor area ratio being 4,400 square foot to be exceeded by 203 square foot. This is at 92 Laws Brook Road. Anybody here for the applicant to discuss this matter?
Yes, I'm Bill Dickinson from Dickinson Architects. So I will be doing or starting the presentation, and then Liz and Joe Mauer will also probably chime in. So. All right. Can I screen share, or is there
you can definitely screen share if you want.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, perfect. So do you all see a plot plan?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I'm Bill Dickinson from Dickinson Architects. And Joe and Liz Mauer are the owners at 92 Lawsbrook. Now, the owners would like to renovate their garage attic to provide a dedicated home office and separate recreation area for their children, and are requesting a special permit to seek relief for the maximum floor area ratio. The renovation increases the gross square footage by 525 square feet, and is 203 square feet over the maximum floor area allowed for the property. And here you see the plot plan. The main house up here by Lawsbrook Road. The structure is a non-conforming because it's over the setbacks, and the lot is non-conforming because of its width, but the existing garage is conforming. Werner Street's in the back here, and the exterior work will only be two shed dormers on the garage side and a single shed dormer on the back of the garage. So the height of the building and the footprint of the garage do not change at all during this project, or in the proposal of this project, and no work is done to the main house. I'm gonna move on to some photos. You're probably all familiar with it, but I'll pull this down, hang on. All right, so this is a photo from Werner Street on the east side or left of the property. You can see behind the car that through the trees, there's the edge of the garage. And a little closer, you can see the garage that's in question, again, looking across the neighbor's property from Werner Street. The proposed garage for renovation, again from Werner Street, and then looking down the driveway from Werner Street. This is a picture of from the property on the left side, or the east side, at 86 Lawsbrook, but it's a view from Werner Street in the back. And this is the neighbor to the west, or to the right on Werner Street. Across the road are these two properties. Let's see. No, hang on. Now, this is the existing garage footprint. Not very exciting, but it's a 3-car existing garage and an empty attic above currently. The garage side, which faces west, this is the existing condition, and this is the back of the garage facing east. This is the end elevation of the garage you saw in the photos, facing Werner Street. And this is the existing elevation of the garage facing the main house or Lawsbrook. This is the proposed plan. Again, maintaining the same footprint, it's maintaining the 3-car garage function, but we're putting a stair and new door going up into the attic area. The garage attic is proposed to have a full bath, a recreation area for the kids, and 2 home offices. The rec area and the offices are under dormers, which you'll see in the next plans. So this is the west side of the garage with the 2 new dormers. The existing main roofs are remaining, but we're adding these 2 dormers for the 2 offices and this door here. On the west side, we're adding a shed dormer for the rec room and circulation to the stair. On the Warner Street side, we're moving a door, but you can see the dormers added here for the rec room and the offices. And this is the elevation facing the main house with the existing door and the new shed dormers. Again, the footprint and the height of the building are not changing. We're just adding the dormers. So then I would like to have Liz or Joe maybe chime in and give a little bit more about the why of the project.
Yeah, I can do that. My name is Liz Maurer from 92 Lawsbrook Road. I'm one of the homeowners, and I submitted the application because, you know, I work from home full time. We have 3 very young children. The 3 kids and I all share one room in our main house, which is a home office as well as a recreation space and where they do their homework and things like that. Now that all 3 of them are going to be in elementary school in the fall, I think we've really outgrown the needs of this particular room, and that's the impetus for the project. We want to have a little bit more space. We looked at trying to modify like our existing space that we have. The basement, the headroom is much too low. The attic has all of our HVAC equipment, so the existing building, our existing home didn't really accommodate. So we looked to the garage, which has already been built. We built that garage in 2017 or 2016, I believe. And it just has an empty attic up there. So we'd like to utilize that space. And that's why we're here today.
Thank you, Liz. Did you have any support letters or anything from the neighbors, or do you? I know you did talk to some of the neighbors.
Yeah, I have no objections from the neighbors I spoke with. I don't know if they submitted letters to you guys or not. I assume if they did, you would have had them. But
Yeah, we haven't seen anything.
Yep, we have no objections. The neighbor that would be most impacted is at 86 Lawsbrook. His property is the closest, and I have his you know, approval of the project.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from members of the board? Ravi, Thomas?
I have sort of one
No,
preliminary question about why are we not talking about alteration of a non-conforming structure in this case?
Oh.
'Cause it looks like the garage is inside the setback.
Oh, it's actually a conforming structure, because when accessory buildings behind a main building, it can be up to 5 feet of the property line. So it is conforming structure.
Okay, is that, and Paul, do you agree, even if there's living space in there now?
Yeah, that's fine, Ravi.
Okay.
Still be conforming, yeah.
Thomas?
I'm okay with it.
Okay. So, well, just quick question. Did you say that you were eliminating a door towards Warner Street on the rear elevation of the garage, or did I mishear that?
Yeah, I can. There was a door facing Werner Street,
Yeah.
and
okay.
we moved that. That we took that off and made it on the western elevation. I can pull up the plans here.
Yeah, no, I think that's no, that's fine. That's fine. I think I'm all set. Just gonna go. I have no further questions from the board. I will go to the audience and see whether there's anybody here in the audience who wants to speak on this matter. Seeing none, I will close the public comment section. And we'll go back to the board. And is there any discussion in the board?
You know, I have no objection to this, but I feel like, you know, we've always been careful with this particular bylaw that requires us to make a finding that there are no reasonable alternatives available. We've always been very careful to kind of create a little more of a record around what we're basing that finding on. And in the past, it's, you know, I think there are some helpful things here, right? Like the footprint isn't changing. But you know, that seems to me to go more towards detriment to the neighborhood. And, you know, for the no reasonable alternatives, we oftentimes will be able to see the other alternatives that were considered and why they were not going to work. You know, we've been told about the basement and the attic, but do we have like floor plans of the main house available to see if there's any other space? I mean, it's a 4,000, I'm looking at 4,000 square feet. It seems that's not a small house, right? A lot of times we're looking at a very small house and it's impossible to squeeze something in there. And so that's why we find the no reasonable alternative. But here with a 4,000 square foot house, can we get a little more on, you know, what's the room in the house going to be used for that you used to use for an office? Why do you need two offices in the garage instead of just one? You know, you still have a few hundred square feet to work with. So what's necessitating the extra 200 over an alternative design that fits within the FAR? You know, I think I want to maybe just see a little more around that in order to make that finding.
I don't know that that's true, that our house is 4,000 square feet.
Our
Main house.
You are allowed on this lot, as the application says, 4,400 square foot. And you're over that with this addition by 203 square foot.
Right.
So you're going to be at 4,600 if this addition is.
I don't know that like the living space in this house though is, I think it's like roughly 3,000 square feet that we have in the main house. I mean,
That is correct, because the 4,000 includes the gross square footage of the garage.
yeah, no one's living out in the garage.
Right,
No.
so that's it. It kind of makes a false impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But that is according to our zoning bylaw, that is calculated space as far as the FER goes. No, I agree with you, Ravi. I have no I have no qualms about this, especially it's an existing structure. The adjustments to that structure are really very minimal. It doesn't impact, even by the location on the lot that I'm looking at, it doesn't impact any neighbors. It's all very minimal. So, you know, that substantial detriment to the neighborhood threshold, I think, is very easy to describe, but no reasonable alternatives indeed is something that we want to be very mindful of, that we have that underpinned.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times 200 square feet is a little bigger of excess than I think we've seen in some of these cases. It may not be the biggest, but it's on the larger side of going over.
Right.
And again, I think, you know, I don't know how many rooms are in the main house. I can't see what other space there is that could have been considered.
We submitted floor plans. I don't know if you want to share those or not, Bill.
Do we have floor
Bill.
plans? So
We have, we did an application for Paul Creedon's suggestion to the Board of Health, and we had to do some very sketchy floor plans. I would let me see if I can pull that up and share share those.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
think
doing
that would be beneficial, because I think as we've made clear to you, we're sympathetic to this, but we need to make sure that we are on solid ground as far as it comes to legal matters.
And maybe while we're looking for that, I don't know if you can speak to the need for 2 offices versus 1, for having a bathroom and the living space there, and what the rooms in the house are constrained by, and what you need to use them for. Because if you're moving all this to the garage, do you have an extra room in the house now that could be the second office? That kind of
Right.
alternatives
For
considered,
instance-
and why you decided that wouldn't work.
Right. For instance, the office that's not being used now, that is office play space combined, right? Those 2 uses go into the garage. Now, what are you going to do with that empty room that you now have?
All right, I found the existing plan, so I'm going to screen share, and maybe Liz or Joe, if you could walk through your house. That
I'm
would
happy
be
to.
great.
I could even give you a video tour. It's a giant mess. Oh, these are the sketches I actually drew. Oh my God.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't have anything better. I mean, not that they aren't good, but
All right. Well, you guys have to keep in mind, I'm not an architect or an artist, but like this is the little sketches we did for the health department or for the building commissioner.
Mhm.
All right. So
All right.
this is the basement. It's unfinished, but the ceiling is quite low. I think even when, I'm not very tall, when I go down there, it's only a couple of inches above my head, and the ceiling is not, there's nothing, it's like pipes and stuff. So that's the basement, and there's a small utility room.
yeah, and half being slab on grade, I think.
Yep.
Mhm.
Good to note.
All right, this is the first floor, and I feel kind of bad because these are definitely not to scale, but our first floor has a foyer, a living room, a dining room, a kitchen. The area labeled study is where I'm sitting right now, and that's where I and the 3 children share this room. I have a home office. The 3 kids play in here, they do their homework in here, that kind of a thing. There's a half bath, a laundry room, apologies for the scribbles. And then we have an in-law suite that is used by my parents, that has a bedroom, a closet, and a bathroom.
Yeah, right here.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so that itself is probably 500, 700 square feet. Right.
Yep. The upstairs of the main house, we have, let's see, when you come up the top of the stairs, we have the 3 bedrooms for the kids. They each have a very small closet. And this is really definitely not to scale, but we have an owner's bedroom, a closet, and a bathroom, a full bath on the 2nd floor. And all of these rooms are occupied. Each of the kids has their own room. And then we have the primary bedroom, closet, and bathroom. Okay. I don't think I drew the attic for you, Bill, but the attic is only on the front part of the house, the only part of the attic that you can access.
Yeah,
And
it's not habitable.
it's
You
not,
can't,
well, and this is to your question about why do we need 2 offices? I will gladly tell you. My husband actually worked in the attic, which is totally unfinished, and he sat on the HVAC equipment, and it's not air conditioned at all. So he's sweating it out up there. And we have since moved him. He actually works from home from our bedroom, which is, not ideal either. He actually works with all of his things on top of a stereo cart. So this is why we have the need for 2 offices. Both of us work from home. It's just my job is permanently based at home. He sometimes will go into an office. So he actually doesn't have a dedicated space to work. He's working on this crazy microwave cart because it's too hot in the attic.
Okay. No, and I certainly don't mean to give you a hard time, but this was very helpful like that. I think that's kind of exactly what we need to see. The space in the house is very constrained. It really does not look like there's anywhere to put office and play space. You've explained the need for the second office. And to Zio's point, I think it's easy to find. There's no detriment to the neighborhood here. You're keeping the footprint. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, and I want to make,
me,
I want to make sure you guys have what you need. I mean, it's also, worth remembering, I think, that several years ago, Joe and I sat at these zoning board meetings while a 6-bedroom house was approved as an exception behind us. So like, we are by far not the largest house in this neighborhood. There's a monstrous house sized right behind us that was approved as an
Yeah.
exception as well. So we won't be any bigger than that for sure.
Yeah, and I think the purpose of this bylaw, as we all feel, is not to block projects like this. I think, could you argue, well, you could use the study in the house as one of the 2 offices? Maybe, you could let us know why you prefer to have the 2 in the garage instead of just, you stay there and the other parent and the kids go to the other space.
Yeah, I mean, I think look, we can make any amount of space work. This is definitely a first world problem. I don't want to like come off as like this is, but this is a space that already exists. And I think ideally, if Joe and I can swing it, we would prefer not to share a homework space and a play space with kids while we're on conference calls all day. So that's really why we're doing the 2 offices. And if we're gonna take over some of the space in the upstairs of the garage, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to leave half of that unfinished and just unused, and just like make one room up there and then the rest of it's just unfinished because we're trying to, adhere to a bylaw that, as you said, this bylaw is not trying to prevent projects like this. This is a building that already exists.
Bill, I guess the design of that space then with the dormers, I mean, given the headroom over the garage, do you need the dormers regardless, even if it was a bit of a smaller space?
Yeah, we do. Just to get any headroom. I mean, there's really almost no legal headroom up there. It's like a path that's 3 foot wide. So we do need the doors to get around.
Right. Yeah, well, in that case, I think it's reasonable that if you're pushing out the dormers, you might as well use all the space that's over the garage. I think that gets me there. I don't know if Tom, are you
Yeah,
good too?
no, I'm very comfortable with it. No, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, and Ravi, also to your earlier comment, this is, about 4,500 square foot total, where does that square footage go to? But having an in-law suite in there as well, that takes up a good chunk.
And a 3-car garage, right? But
And a 3-car garage, that's quite a bit of square footage that's out of the main, that's sort of out of this equation of, is there no reasonable alternative available?
Yeah.
Okay, that being said, I would like to entertain a motion that will indeed describe the no reasonable alternatives available as a finding.
Sure, I move that we approve the application of Joseph Mauer for a special permit under zoning bylaw sections 6-13 and 11.6 to increase the maximum floor area, cause the maximum floor area ratio to be exceeded by 203 square feet at 92 Lost Brook Road, with the finding that, based on the available space in the house and the uses, and based on the design of the garage second floor, there isn't really a reasonable alternative to achieve the intended office and play space, and they're minimizing the additional space, really, because all they're using is the second floor of the garage, which already exists. I guess that's it.
Oh,
I
thank you.
second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor, Ms. Faya,
All right.
Mrs. Swain,
Yes.
and Chair votes aye as well. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Ross Walter for a special permit on the zoning bylaws. Section 4222-11-6 for 842 square foot detached additional dwelling at 537 Barrett's Mill Road. We received communications this afternoon that the applicant requested a continuation to our September meeting. Haley, when is that meeting and at what time?
So that meeting is September 14th and 7:15.
Excellent. May I have a motion?
I move to continue the application of Ross Walter for a special permit under bylaw sections 4222 and 11-6 for an 842 square foot detached ADU at 537 Barrett's Mill Road to September 14th at 7:15 PM.
I second the motion.
All those in favor, Ms. Faya,
Yes.
Mr. Swain,
Yes,
chair votes yes as well. 7:15, the same as well. This applicant has actually requested a continuation until our October meeting, October 12th. So what time would that be? Haley, and can we request it that it's going to be the last item on the agenda?
One moment.
Can we say that? Do we need? to give it a
No, you
time?
have to select a specific time. One moment. So currently we have nothing for that day, so we can put that at 7 o'clock.
Could we say 7:05 so that we can slot somebody else in front of
Okay.
this? Because I'm honestly, I think we're going to be continuing this. I think these continuations on this project will rival Concord Visual Arts. So I'd rather not open this and then immediately continue and then fill our time till 7:05.
Okay.
So if you can say 7:05, then that would be great.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
I make a motion to continue the application of Howard Silberg for a special permit under bylaw sections 42372, 772, 12, 11-6, and 11-8 at 166 Commonwealth Ave to the October 12th meeting at 7:05 PM.
second,
All those in favor, Ms. Faya,
Yes.
Mr. Swain,
yes,
chair votes yes as well. Last item for tonight. Meeting minutes. You weren't here, Ravi, but you watched the video. Did you have any comments on the minutes?
No comments.
No comments. Tom, did you have any comments?
I do not, no.
Neither did I. Did Elizabeth get any comments in, Haley?
No.
Well, you've done a wonderful job again with those minutes, I guess. If nobody comments on them, that's terrific. Okay, motion to approve the minutes of
All right,
July 8th.
I move to approve the June 8th meeting minutes.
Tom,
Second, and then I approve.
and then you're approved. Good. So, Ms. Fia,
Yes, approved.
and then Tom, you already approved, right? So do I. So they are approved. That was the meeting for tonight. What was the agenda? We still have several people in the audience. If there's anybody in the audience wanting to comment, please raise your hand and we can potentially address that. Otherwise, we entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Second.
We never vote on this.
Put
do
on
we?
that.
We
Yeah.
never vote on this. So anyway, see you all September 14. Thank you all.
Take care.